Welcome back to this tutorial, and today we are talking about control structures. Now that we are done with the conditional statements, we can now cover the control structures. Alright, so with control structures, in decision statements, we're making a decision between the program was making a decision between the input. So if someone types in their mark as 70, then it can decide, this is an A, this is a B, this is a C. But in control structures, we don't make decisions. Instead, we execute the code for a given time or number of times. Let's say you're designing a software to run a lift. So all the condition it takes are the number of floors you have on that building. If you have 100 floors, then it means it will run from the first floor until it reaches the last floor. So still, if it's on the last floor and you tell it run to the last floor, then it will still run from 100 to the ground floor. So the same, that is a control structure. So we have three control structures, and sometimes control structures are called loops or loop statements. So we have the while loop, we have the for loop, and then we have the do while loop. So as we continue, we'll see the continue statement, we have the break statement, then sometimes we can append in the switch case like that. But basically we are going to discuss these three. Okay, so let's begin with the first one, which is the while loop, like that. And I'm gonna copy this one and paste it here. So the syntax for a while loop is simple. All you have to do is say while, then you give the condition, and then you are meant to execute this section like that. So you give while, sorry, this should be inside here. So this is the syntax. You give this condition. If it's true, you execute this code until it becomes false, like that. I need a closing brace there, like that. Okay, so execute that, and now you can understand this, cause we are big boys now, we can do anything. So let's take a simple example. If I wanted to count from 0 to 100, or if I wanted to count from 0, maybe I want to print numbers from 0 to 1 to 10, but then I'll be printing even numbers. Okay, so I want to print even numbers from 0 to 10. So our condition becomes from 0 to 10. So we are looping in from 0 to 10. Okay, that's why I'm saying it is a loop. We continue doing the same thing as long as it's true. So we have to keep printing from 0, then we go to 1, 2, 3 up to 10. So that's a loop. Then to execute this code, we need something that will determine, okay, if we want even numbers, then it means we have to keep adding 2 onto the previous number such that we come up with the even number. So this is how we do it. So do we need to prompt? This time we don't need to prompt someone, so we can easily say while. So we can declare our variable to be 0. So since we are printing even numbers, and we all know that the first even number is always 2, then what we have to do is increment this by 2 before we print. So if you remember the increment and decrement, this is a post increment. It means before you print the value of 2, first increase it by 2. Okay, so store that incremented value. So our x now, x is 2, so it is no longer 0, it's now 2. Okay, then next we have to print the value of x like this. Then we add the end line like this. So if we run this, you can see it doesn't print anything. What's wrong? Oh, while x, no, we have to say, we have to give a condition while x is less or equal to 10, like this. So we are printing from even numbers from 0 to 10. Okay, so the minimum is 0, the maximum is 10, 10 inclusive of this equal sign. Then we first initialize the value of x to be 2 by incrementing it by 2 here. Then we print out the value of x like that. If I run this now, it prints 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 12. Now the challenge is here. If you say 10 inclusive, then it means we'll add 2 to the next 10 to get 12. So to avoid that, simply make it less than 10, and then 10 is inclusive. Okay, similarly I added this end line purposely to break everything to print on a vertical line. If you don't add end line, it will be printed like this: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like that. Okay, so you can see it is so frustrating. But as well, there's another logic of adding just separators like that. So you simply call this that print a space between these values, and this is how it will be printed. So they say 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, like that. So we can loop from 0 to 10, printing even numbers just like this using a while loop. So meet in the next lecture, and please don't forget to subscribe and like and activate that notification such that whenever I post a video, it will be automatically notified to you that you know even has a new post, has something good. Alright, so we have been printing from 0 to 10. You can also try printing from 10 to 0. So the logic is making this one the maximum, which is 10, and making this one the minimum, which is 0. And instead of incrementing, we can decrement like that. So meet in the next lecture. Goodbye.